dangerous people. Who are light workers? Light workers are the people who abide in light, who transit in light, who have worked with light, for light, by the light. Light is all about purification. Now these are beings who have spent a considerable amount of their life purifying, working with the light, with the forces of light. And as they are near to the completion of their processes, I'm not saying light beings are, or light workers are all perfect people and most divine and godly people. No, I don't say. They have their own incompletions, but to a large extent they have done their work. That work is very authentic work, because without authenticity you cannot work with light. Opposite of darkness, opposite of authenticity is darkness. Authenticity means deep sincerity and loyalty to what they do, the processes that they do, and they do understand that this whole process is about self-purification. It is about the self. They work on their own flaws. They are all the time repeatedly behind their own flaws, because they know that these inner flaws are the inner shadows, and these inner shadows prevent the full light to shine in them. So these are the beings who work on purification, removing their all inner shadows so that the light can shine forth. Why? Because they love being helpful to themselves, helping themselves on the path towards freedom, and also at the same time, while they do that, they also ensure that the people they connect with, or the people who connect with them, are also benefited by them. So it's on a larger scale, because the beings of light, the quality is light for everybody. The quality of light is to purify. So purification. So these beings are shining the light. Now the quality of light is truth. Light is based on truth and reality. The opposite of reality, unreal. Darkness is unreal. Darkness is temporary. Darkness is insincere. Darkness is insensitive, uncompassionate. Darkness is full of hatred, vengeance, fear, doubts, selfishness, jealousy. Now these are the qualities that does not make you beings of light. So to be redeemed, we have to first transmute into this being of light, and then only further liberation is possible. So these beings of light have a different quality, that they don't exist just for themselves. It's a choice. It's a choice, you can say a free choice or a divine choice, a free will or a divine will. However you want, you can put it. They are one and the same. Somebody having a free will to choose to be a divine light worker has to be a part of the whole plan. It has to be a divine plan, because the divine plan descends into them and gives them this idea, this feeling of being more helpful to others. What I'm trying to say is, these light beings have played enough games. They have seen, they have been through hell. They are not just born, like with golden spoons in their mouth. They've been through all kind of traumas, all kind of pains and sufferings and turmoils and confusions and darkness. They have been there. They have been in hell. They've seen hell. That is why they can define hell. That is why they can help others who are in the same spaces. And they can do it quite efficiently and effortlessly, because this is their quality. That is how these beings can be dangerous. Dangerous to whom? Beings of darkness. If anybody approaches them or nears to them, because normally, not always beings of light get attracted to these light beings. It is darkness. The dark beings also get attracted, or the souls who have darkness in them, or work left, or unresolved issues, or those souls which have not been able to face their own self, face their own unresolved issues, and with the traumatic conditions, not accepting these conditions, not being authentic, and not wanting to work for themselves or for others, these beings can unknowingly, it's very unfortunate, can become victims of darkness and remain in the darkness, not wanting to see their own darkness. So when they come to the light beings, when they get attracted to light beings, or they come into the vicinity of light beings, what happens is exposure. Because these light beings are like mirrors, they just reflect directly, effortlessly, and impartially. So most of them don't like it. That is why you can see there is a vengeance towards light beings, because light beings are authentic, they are free flowing, they don't care a damn for anything, they are what they are, because they have no masks to hide. There is no need for any masks. Masks are for the people who have got games to play, who have vested interest. Now these guys, what interest do they have? They exist with only very few agendas in life. One of it is to help others who are stuck, because they've been there and they know how it feels. Out of that compassion they do it, and out of that compassion they even end up attracting all kind of beings. And at the same time they deflect, they reflect back, they deflect, and they can cause pain to others. They can cause or evoke unknowingly hatred and jealousy and vengeance among the beings who are not fully aligned with truth and light. And that's a price to pay for both. For those beings as well as the light beings, because the light workers, they do it all at a great expense, because it's not that they are free from the outcomes of these effects that happens. So most of the time they also take the brunt of all that's going. But again, they do understand that this is a part of the whole game. It's not like everything is goody here. They do understand this game, and they know how to play this game also, and they are okay with it. So whenever someone approaches these light beings with any vested interest, they do have a heavy price to pay. But I have always felt it's good work. I do not call them as paying a price. I've seen other light workers or other masters calling this as paying a price. Somehow these beings are ignorant beings, because they're lost. They can be lost. They're trying to find their ways out, and they're suffering. These beings are suffering. Who try to cause harm or damage to these light beings are themselves suffering. Like for example, the narcissists. Narcissists are the controllers. They love controlling these beings of light. They love controlling everybody, but in that everybody, they sometimes do not understand that there are these light beings also. It's like catching fish. They try to catch fish, and maybe an oyster comes in, a shell, or some rare fish comes up which they never expected. So it is unexpectedly a catch. Light beings are an unexpected catch for narcissists. Narcissists can exist everywhere, in the family, in the friends, in society, in offices, in spiritual places, in organizations, in communities, in cults. They do not come with any known traits, because they are very subtle and very difficult to find out until you are very conscious. You're a very conscious being, evolved being. It's very difficult. And what happens is the narcissists try to control them. Now these beings, light beings, are free as ever. They cannot be caught. But in their initial stages, when they are learning or then they are enveloping from their own darknesses, they can be a good catch, because these beings are very empathic beings, light workers. Empathic means they feel empathy, they connect with people, they absorb others' negativity, they feel compassion for others, kindness, and that is why most of the empaths suffer. If you are an empath, if you are very sensitive, vulnerable, you like helping people, you can't stand the pain, injustice to others, you always love to be of service to others, then be careful. You can be taken for a ride, especially when you come across a narcissist. Now these people are people who don't have empathy. Unknowingly, they don't have empathy. And that is the reason the suffering is more for an empath. These people pass on their hooks, their vindictive ways, their cunning ways, deceptive ways, and they are all the time trying to hook on to these empaths. Why? To take control, because they love light energy. They are themselves not having light energy or are in short of it. So they try to compensate it from these empaths. And that is how these relations are formed. You can see these in relationships also. And they suffer. The empaths do suffer. You can see this against all the dominant classes, where you have the bosses, where you have a dominant person in home and they control the family, or they control the offices, their subordinates, their colleagues, or people in organizations, when they are the leaders there. It might be religious, it might be spiritual, but there are people there who command, who dictate, who want everybody to follow exactly the way they want. And if anything goes wrong, they don't like it. Anybody does not obey, they don't like it. They don't love freedom to be given to anybody. It's all about power, control, power, control, power, control. Narcissism. Empaths can suffer a great deal. I have suffered my whole life. All phases of life. It took me only some time back to realize the whole play and what is this about. Why do I attract people who are so commanding and demanding, and who can simply abuse you, who can suck all the energy out of you and leave you there desperate because of this one sensitivity that you want to help, you want to serve. This passion for serving others, helping others, doing good to this world. You can't see the suffering. You want to aid others. You want to help people out of their troubles. And that is where you get caught if you are not careful. But then, these are all lessons. These all take time for us to understand. And they all come with deep lessons. They're all a learning process, both for the empath as well as the narcissist. Narcissists also learn, but the unfortunate thing, because I have done a lot of research on this, I've seen it from my childhood till all my years, up till now, I even face it now also. That is why I became very cautious in this past few weeks about what's happening in my life. And that's how this whole thing came out, because now I'm working on myself deeply on these things, and I can see these things unearthed. So I've investigated, and that's how I thought I'll share this also, because I know many people are in this loop. You might be in places and with people, situations where you are stuck, you feel so dominated and controlled. You have no voice of your own. You can't breathe also without your own permission. I've suffered for years in these kind of conditions. Very unfortunate. Most unfortunate that what I see is that the narcissists are not even guilty about it. That's the whole thing. Because this narcissism is a personality disorder. It's not a mental disorder. It's a personality disorder. These are coming from people who have had very bad childhoods, who have themselves been deprived. deprived of love, care and support and attention. So when they grow up without this, they themselves start creating situations, and they create relationships around them where they can simply exploit this love, care and attention, so they can quench their thirst. But this is such a vicious loop that they don't understand this, that there's no end to this thirst. It keeps on repeating, and the cycle becomes endless, and in the process they lose empathy. They can see people suffer. I've seen people, narcissists in my life, who can look at your suffering and smile. You're in tears and they can have a smile. I've seen this right from childhood. I'm seeing, and I was not able to understand what kind of insensitivity is this. It's so insensitive. But then on deep researches, I've understood that this is a disorder that unfortunately is that way, and there is no cure, they say. Oh my God. But I refuse this. That is what I was talking to one of my friends and saying, who is a victim of narcissist abuse himself. So I was talking about this and saying that I don't believe there is no cure. But yes, I have closely been with this narcissist, and I've tried to help many times these people, giving them even repeated opportunities, because I can see their suffering. I want to help them heal. I want to bring them out of it. I want to liberate them from that suffering that they are, because I've been there. I've seen how these people can be suffering, and in that process what happens is they abuse you, again unknowingly. So I've understood they cannot understand, they cannot relate with this help. They simply want attention, they simply want power and control for themselves. They are only seeking self-validation. They do not know to love, but they can grab your love, they can suck you out of your love and attention, but they cannot give back. They are poor givers. And that's where the whole scene goes haywire. So I was feeling that this is not right, but at the same time I realized that there is a chance for narcissists, but only if they are aware. Only and only if they can become aware can something happen in their lives. Otherwise, it's a gone case. Nothing can be done for them. Really, dear ones. It pains, Somehow I don't like that word, that there is no cure for these kind of traits, all these personality disorders. Because somewhere it's karmic. Somewhere they are having some lessons. So I refuse to believe. I always think, if lessons are there, and if we are all given an opportunity according to the law of karma, then this has to end somewhere. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the things on this. But I seriously wish that they all heal themselves, and they can be in powerful positions. I've seen some of them are so much in powerful positions, and they are not even aware of what's happening to them. There's so much of dominance and control. They do not want anybody else to survive, only them, and make use of everybody and everybody. Even in the organizations, you exploit, you suck them out, and the moment you find they're not useful, kick them out, throw them out, disown them. I've seen this happening in mass, where people are simply taken and kept until they feel they are of value. The day they are of no value, or the day they stand up their own light, shine their own light, then the problem begins, because that light deflects them. They become a mirror. These people who are rising in light, they become a mirror, and these people can't see it. So either ways, if they process it, if they are able to process that light, but I don't think that's ever possible. So most of the time, these empaths have to quit, leave relationships, leave offices, leave organizations, and find a space to breathe, because they have realized that they are abused, and this is not fun, this is not sacred, this is not love, this is not, damn it, unconditional love. This is full abuse. So when they realize and they become very authentic and they are ready to speak and stand up for their own light, then they are criticized. Then there are smear campaigns against them. Then everything is done to demean them. The whole thing reverses. The narcissist always put the blame back, shifts back the whole thing. The whole shift is back towards the empath. So they are to blame now. And they create such a scenario because they are powerful guys. They can easily do that. And they have been doing all their life. So they create this kind of an atmosphere, this kind of a scenario where anybody can believe them. And that's where that's the most silliest and foolish part, that people believe. Well, time will tell. Time will always tell, because the truth will always win. It won't go forever. And I'm seeing that, I see this always, all my life. So many places. Time has been telling. People, first they criticize you. They blame you because they love to listen to that stories. False stories. The created narratives. They have their own narratives. And then, after some time, they come to know themselves. Because light cannot be hidden. One or the other day it will be revealed. And the day it is revealed, they have remorse. They feel regret. They feel confused. Many get confused. Which way? This way? That way? What to do? A lifetime has gone into all these things. So it's very unfortunate that these things are happening. But at the same time, the light is powerful. Those who abide by light, those who stand by authenticity, those who stand by truth, shall always be protected. They will always be protected because the light protects. The other day I was disappointed with the whole thing, and someone sent me a video which said, this is divine plan. This also is a part of the divine plan. Part of the law of karmas. So nothing to feel guilty or remorse about. Enjoy the game. Somebody is enjoying the game. There, you also enjoy the game. After all, it's a game. That makes sense. So that gives a lot of freedom when you understand. And it gives me immense freedom to share these things. And I know it will help you. Many out there, I'll bring out a lot of the details in these kind of situations where we are stuck. Even in families and relationships and friends and societies and offices, where one is confused, they're not understanding what's happening with them. This is happening. So some deep inner work is needed, deep light work is needed. You have to ignite your own light. You have to stand up in your own light. You have to blaze in your own light. And until you do that, you are not going to be safe. Because until you are a borrower, you will be exploited and abused. You will attract these kind of control freaks because of your deep need for desperation. Look at all the people who are under the control people. All these people are desperate people. All these people are people who have been disowned or need help or support. They feel helpless. They are deprived of love. They don't know where to go. They are so emotionally weak. These are the people who come under the catch of control freaks. Look at the population, you will come to know. Identify the people and see. They are all weak people. Weak in the sense they are deprived of something and they are seeking love, support, divinity. So I feel it's a very bad kind of a karma to exploit such beings who are innocent. I feel so bad when I was exploited because I know my intentions. It feels so hurt. But anyways, I've healed them out. It's all done. I've healed it out. And I'm trying to help people who are victims to all these kind of situations, to help them. And these platforms, what I'm providing, there are a lot of solutions where you can come and simply heal your life, transform your life. It's not about paying back. It's not about taking revenge. It's not about teaching someone a lesson. No, you learn the lesson. You stand up. You become free. Let the circuit continue because it's a law of karma. Let others who are in this school of drama benefit out of it, or play the game or learn lessons or whatever. But if you have learned your lesson, then it's time for you to transform your life. Much divine love and light to you. Stay blessed.